Oh, hello there. I didn't know we were already filming. I'm just kidding. What's up, you guys? What's going on? Today we're doing this fall plump, burgundy, whatever you want to call it, look. And if you want to see how I did it, you better keep watching. And I have a surprise for you guys. We're doing a YouTube giveaway. And what is the giveaway, you ask? I'll tell you what it is. It is this palette right here, the brand new palette that launched in August. And it's called The Choice Is All Yours. This is the palette I use for this look right here. But let's get into the details of the giveaway. How can you win this palette? Well, it's really simple. You like the video, you comment which season is your favorite season, and of course you subscribe to Lov's channel. So let's get into the video, guys. So first things first is I'm going to prime my eyes as always, and what I like to prime my eyes with is concealer, and I'm using this concealer right here called the DualCOVER. Now I'm going to apply the liquid side of the concealer to my eyes. And I'm going to blend her out with a beauty sponge. And I'm going to set the concealer with this translucent loose powder, PERFECTitude. And I'm gonna use the sponge to do so. Just remember to wet your sponge. A lot of people, I think, tend to forget, but it works a lot better when it's damp. So this amazing palette, The Choice Is All Yours, which looks like this. I really love that they went with a bigger palette. I personally like all of my shades to be in one single palette than me having to have several different palettes in my bag. So I really love that concept, and I love that they kept the magnetic close. I think it's a very convenient choice to have it, especially if you're on the road with it. So I really love that, and let's just showcase the palette. Ta-da! These are definitely all of my colors. These are colors that I usually wear on a daily basis, but I love that there are some shimmers in there that you can like spice up your entire look with them, or just like give it a little bit of shimmer. This color scheme is just like my thing. So I'm so excited to dive into it, and let's just see what kind of look I'll get out of it. The first two shades I'm going to be using is Eleanor and Mary. I'm going to use them as my transition shade. So when I first saw this palette, I was really like excited about the colors, but I could definitely feel a huge difference in the formula. They feel so much more buttery and so much more blendable than the other palettes that I've tried. So this is definitely my favorite one of them all. So usually you would use 2 or 1 neutral color in the palette as a transition shade, but there are no rules to makeup. You can do whatever you want. Next, I'm going to use the shade Lena and a little bit of Rosy. I just love how these shadows are blending. I can see the difference so much, it's insane. I honestly don't know what they did to their formula, but this is insane. Just like the difference of how they blend versus how the other palettes blend is insane. If you're gonna purchase anything or any palette, this would be the palette. Next, I'm using the shades Kristen and Linda. I want the kind of brown burgundy, but I also want a little bit of the ashiness. So I'm gonna use these two together. So who is excited for fall season? Like all the boots and the jackets and like the cute little umbrellas. Really excited for fall. And like all the, I think jackets and boots are my favorite part, with all the green leaves or like the yellow and the orange leaves on the ground. We likey. So if you've checked up on my Instagram, you guys know that I do like a fashion thing. So for me to have like a transition from all the summer dresses and like all the summer shorts and the summer looks to the fall is like the most exciting thing. And then I get to do like fall looks, like makeup looks. That's just like even more exciting. Burgundy is like, I feel like the sign of fall. If you use burgundy, if you see anyone wearing burgundy, that's it, it's fall. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of July, it's fall. Now I want to move on to shimmers. I think shimmers are something that can spark up your look just a little bit, give it a little bit of glam, and I just love that, especially if it's like a daily thing. You want to just have a little bit of sparkly in your life. I'm gonna use the shade Angela and possibly Margaret, and I might mix it with Lucy, but let's see. I usually like to carve out my eyelids with concealer and then put the eyeshadow on top of it, but because I kind of want a more blended look, I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna apply the shimmer straight to my eyes. I'm gonna start at the middle and work my way into my inner eye. I'm now going to use a little bit of Lucy and a little bit of Dorothy in the inner eye area. I would also like to note that usually I use a fix spray on my brush to enhance or intensify the shimmer. This is not at all necessary with this palette. It's really not. All this shimmer, is on its own. Just beware. I'm loving how this look turned out. Ooh, I'm satisfied with myself. I just want to note here really quick that even the best and the most expensive eyeshadows are gonna have fallout. So don't think that this kind of fallout is because it's not a good quality brand or it's not a good quality eyeshadow. I assure you, this is the best palette yet, and the fallout is normal. I am going to remove the fallout and do my face, do the skin and like the contour and all of that good stuff. I've now applied my primer, my foundation, my concealer, my setting powder, and this is why I look so white and have a lot of powder on my face. I'm gonna do the under eye area. I'm gonna use the same shade called Lena, which is this one right here. So I like to pull out the shadow at the top of my lids, like until here. So when I do my under eye area, I like to connect it. So I'll pull a little bit upwards as well. So I'm just removing the excess translucent powder left on my face. Now moving on to contour, you guys know this is one of my favorite parts of makeup. And the palette I'll be contouring with is called the Shape Glow Face Palette. It looks like this. And again, with the magnetic close-up, one of my favorite features of a palette. It's gonna ensure that nothing's gonna fall out. And so the inside looks like this. I'm going to use the bronze shade. So while I contour my face, let's talk about life. I recently, like for a month now, have been working out 6 times a week, like intense workouts, and eating really, really healthy because apparently 80% of being healthy is like what you eat. But it has truly been one of the hardest things I've done in my entire life because I really love food, or I rather should say I love junk food. It's just, I feel like maybe it's hardest in the beginning, but as soon as it becomes a part of your daily routine, it's just like something that you do. So you just rather go to a salad place than McDonald's, for example. I'm now moving on to highlight and blush, and for that I'm gonna use the Statement Blush palette. I'm going to use this shade for highlight. And I'm going to use a little bit of this shade as my blush. Now moving on to lips, I'm going to use the lip liner Lip Affair, and this one is in this shade Cindy. So usually I like to overdraw my lips a little bit, but with these really strong shades, I'm gonna overdraw a little bit more. Now that I have drawn my lips, I'm going to use the lipstick shade called Black Mood, which looks like this. And again with the magnetic close-up that I love. Now to do a little bit more of a fun effect, and because I wasn't really thinking that this lip color would turn out this dark, I'm going to add this shade called Love Potion. The very last thing I do before applying mascara is to set my entire face with this 3-in-1 matte and fix spray. I'm just gonna wet my face basically. I don't want it to drip, but I'm gonna apply enough so that my face feels wet. Last but not least, I apply mascara, and you may be wondering why I didn't draw my eyebrows this time, and it's because I'm going for kind of a different look. I have not been drawing my eyebrows for a while now, and I've been letting them grow out naturally, so I'm kind of going for that more of a runway look with my brows. I'm just gonna apply some mascara on my brows and on my eyelashes. So I'm using Best Dressed 24-hour long wear volume. You can also get this in waterproof if you want that kind of mascara. I'm starting with my brows, and just be really careful when you use a mascara. You don't want too much on it, you don't want too much color as well, just for them to sit where they're supposed to sit. This is the final look, you guys. I hope that you guys love it as much as I do. It didn't turn out the way I was expecting it to, but I really like the way it turned out. Don't forget to participate in the giveaway. It's really simple. Just give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe to our channel, and it wouldn't hurt to hit that notification button because we do put out new videos every single week. If you like to, you can follow us on our social media, which will be all linked in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!